Alright everyone, you need to pull up a chair and listen to this because the news that is now breaking is the one that so many of us knew was inevitable. The chickens are finally coming home to roost in Montecito, and the sound is absolutely deafening. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Disasters, has been dealt a blow so public, so humiliating, and so final, that it may be the one from which she can never ever recover. She is, to put it bluntly, completely and utterly screwed. Netflix is now reportedly dropping her joke of a brand as ever from their stores. And this isn't just a business decision, you guys. This is the first, undeniable sign that the entire $100 million Sussex grift is about to go up in smoke. And the person who reportedly lit the match is none other than her own fairy godmother, the high priestess of Hollywood herself, Oprah Winfrey. Now, I know you guys are excited for more but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, let's break down this madness, shall we? For years, Meghan Markle has carefully constructed this flawless public image. The glamorous duchess, the global humanitarian, the brave voice of a modern fairy tale. But that glossy, fragile narrative is now cracking under the pressure of reality. And this time, it's not a palace insider or a royal biographer exposing her. It is the very woman who gave her the platform to create her myth in the first place. This latest rejection, Oprah Winfrey's flat refusal to endorse her new cooking show, is different. This one cuts deeper, because Oprah wasn't just another celebrity ally that Meghan could use and discard. She was Meghan's golden ticket to credibility. She was the global megaphone that Meghan used to reinvent herself back in 2021, painting herself as the tragic, innocent victim of a cruel and out-of-touch monarchy. And now, at the very moment that Meghan needs her the most, Oprah has reportedly turned her back. And why? Because Oprah Winfrey, one of the shrewdest businesswomen on the planet, can see what we can all see. Meghan Markle is no longer a bankable brand. When Meghan unveiled her as ever lifestyle brand earlier this year, it was supposed to be her grand re-entry into cultural relevance. She was trying to position herself as the next Gwyneth Paltrow, but with the added stamp of a duchess. We were promised food, wellness, luxury products, and, of course, a glossy cooking show to tie it all together. But almost immediately, the cracks began to show. Industry insiders openly mocked the brand's rollout as being tone-deaf, completely unoriginal, and utterly confused. Nothing about it screamed authenticity. Instead, it screamed pure, unadulterated desperation. Meghan tried to sell herself as a lifestyle authority, but the public saw right through the charade. After all, how can a woman who lives in a $14 million Montecito mansion, a woman who has never had to worry about a bill in her life since she snared a prince, lecture struggling families about simple living and authenticity? It's a joke. And the numbers, you guys, the numbers do not lie. Early reviews for the brand's offerings were lukewarm at best and downright embarrassing at worst. Social media tore it apart with hashtags that mocked everything from the poorly conceived recipes to the cringe-worthy, heavily photoshopped promo shots. As ever, wasn't a cultural hit, it was a cultural punchline. And so, enter Oprah Winfrey. Meghan knew that if anyone on this earth could possibly salvage her sinking ship, it was Oprah. After all, that 2021 interview was watched by nearly 50 million people worldwide. Oprah had been Meghan's lifeline before, transforming her petty complaints into global headlines, her crocodile tears into a flood of public sympathy, and her carefully crafted victimhood into international outrage. So, Meghan turned to Oprah again, hoping that lightning would strike twice. She reportedly begged, she pleaded, and she pitched her boring cooking show, desperately believing that Oprah's golden endorsement could turn as ever into the next big thing. But this time, Oprah allegedly and wisely refused. She saw what everyone else saw, a project with no spark, no originality, no soul, and no authenticity. And by distancing herself by saying no, Oprah protected her own formidable reputation while leaving Meghan completely and utterly exposed. And Meghan was reportedly left seething. This wasn't just a no. This was a public humiliation of the highest order, delivered by the one person she thought she had in her pocket. And Oprah's rejection didn't just come out of nowhere. Hollywood has been whispering about Meghan for months. Executives have described her as being difficult to work with, as being controlling, and as being completely obsessed with her own image. Partnerships that might once have been on the table are now being actively avoided. Netflix is rumored to be deeply frustrated with her lack of results. Spotify, as we all know, has already cut ties and branded her a grifter. And even Hollywood, a world that thrives on reinvention, seems to be tired of Meghan Markle's endless, one-note act. When Oprah Winfrey refuses to back you, it's not just about one failed project. It is about your entire brand collapsing under the weight of its own contradictions. Meghan wants to be the relatable Duchess, yet she lives like an untouchable, out-of-touch celebrity. She wants to be an advocate for authenticity, yet her every single move reeks of staged PR and cynical manipulation. The disconnect is just too big, and the audiences have noticed. And let's not underestimate the amount of money that is involved here. Meghan and Harry have reportedly sunk millions of their own or borrowed money into these ventures. The As Ever brand was supposed to be the engine of their post-royal wealth, a self-sustaining empire of products, shows, and endorsements. But if the sales remain stagnant and the reviews remain poor, Meghan could be staring down the barrel of multi-million-dollar losses. Analysts have already speculated that the brand is not generating the kind of traction that it needs to survive. Investors are reportedly worried, and insiders are whispering that the entire project is on the brink of collapse. And without Oprah's powerful backing, Meghan has lost the one and only boost that might have bought her a little bit more time. And then there's the public. Meghan's reputation has been in a freefall for years, and this latest fiasco only makes it worse. Social media users are openly mocking her projects, comparing her to other failed celebrity entrepreneurs. Commentators are accusing her of being out of touch, of being opportunistic, and of being profoundly fake. Even her once loyal supporters, the so-called Sussex Squad, have grown weary and frustrated by the endless contradictions in her narrative. The most brutal reviews of As Ever haven't come from the tabloids. They have come from regular, ordinary people, the very audience that Meghan so desperately needs to win over. And their message is loud and clear. We are not buying it. So here Meghan stands, with a brand that is flopping, a cooking show that nobody asked for, and Oprah Winfrey, her most powerful and influential ally, walking away. It is a perfect storm of humiliation. And the worst part of all this is that Meghan has brought it entirely on herself. By overplaying her hand, by arrogantly assuming that her fame would carry her forever, and by profoundly underestimating the intelligence of the public, she has set herself up for this very fall. The Oprah rejection isn't just a headline, it is a symbol. It is a warning. Meghan Markle's credibility is collapsing, and this time, even her closest and most powerful allies will not save her. And the doors are closing, one by one. In Hollywood, perception is everything, and Meghan is quickly being perceived as a liability. Behind the scenes, her reputation is nothing short of toxic. Former staffers have spoken about her controlling behavior, her obsession with micromanaging, and her complete inability to accept any form of constructive criticism. These stories, which were once brushed aside as just tabloid gossip, are now being echoed by people inside the industry. Producers have described Meghan as someone who wants all of the credit but none of the accountability. Business partners have said that she talks a big game but rarely, if ever, follows through. And perhaps most damning of all, insiders are now claiming that Meghan simply does not understand the very industry that she is so desperately trying to dominate. She confuses her fame with influence, arrogantly assuming that her title guarantees success. But influence has to be earned, and Meghan has burned far too many bridges to command any real loyalty anymore. The brutal truth is that Meghan and Harry need these ventures to succeed. Without them, their lavish 16-bathroom mansion lifestyle is simply not sustainable. And if her public persona was once the brave Duchess who walked away from the crown, it has now morphed into something far more damaging. A serial complainer who exploits her royal connection while claiming to reject it. People have grown tired of the contradictions. The trust is gone. And when that trust evaporates, the audience doesn't just tune out, they turn against you. And that is where we are now. All of this leads us to the one unavoidable conclusion. Meghan Markle's empire is crumbling. What was supposed to be a carefully orchestrated Hollywood reinvention is collapsing under the weight of its own contradictions. Without Oprah, without A-list backing, without public trust, and without financial stability, Meghan now faces the very real prospect of becoming completely and utterly irrelevant. And in Hollywood, irrelevance is the kiss of death. Stars can survive a scandal, they can survive criticism, but they cannot survive indifference. And Meghan is now perilously close to being written off, not just as a flop, but as a failed experiment in celebrity reinvention. The Duchess once believed that she could bulldoze her way through Hollywood, just as she bulldozed her way out of the monarchy. But Hollywood plays by a different, harsher set of rules, and Meghan is learning the hard way that she is not the exception. She is the cautionary tale. The real question is not whether her brand is flopping. That much is obvious. The question is, how much longer can she pretend otherwise before the whole house of cards comes crashing down around her? What do you guys think of this whole insane situation? Is this the final nail in the coffin for her brand? Let me know everything you are thinking down in the comments. Let's really get into this because it is just mind-blowing. Until next time, take care, ta-ta and bye for now.